Hey, you.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my gosh. I'm so,
Uh-oh.
I'm so good. I've got to
Okay.
ask you first. Are you Teresa's sister?
I am, yes.
Okay. Teresa was in the energetic connections class with me.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah.
so I got to meet her. And so anyway, as you said, Shelly's my sister, and I'm going, oh, which Shelly? Which Shelly?
Oh.
Ask you. So anyway,
Yeah. Yep. She's
I'm
a good
good.
one.
I'm really good. Um, do I start this? Do you start this? I don't even remember. I know I had to have one with Breezy because I had one before she left.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have notes from one that you had with Breezy.
Okay, so I
So,
did, but I don't remember it.
all
Um,
right, no worries. This
anyway,
this gets to be
so we're
run
there.
how you
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
I was saying this gets to be run how you want it to be run.
Okay, I need to share a couple of things with you.
Okay.
Okay, so my decision that I made, whichever day it was, I think it was Saturday. The days run together so much. To just be still.
Uh-huh.
Remember, be still, and just allow that connection so that it can finally be connected to my heart, my true heart's desire, so that I know I'm going in the right direction. For me, it's not a matter of, it used to be, but it's not a matter anymore of getting permission from God as much as it really is connecting to who I was meant to be from the very beginning, right?
Mm.
Allowing myself to feel that and to be connected to that and settle into that. Yesterday at church, it was interesting because we're sitting there and they're passing sacrament, and there was more people in the meeting yesterday than there normally is, and so they had to have extra deacons.
Okay.
And this cute little, they're just 12-year-old boys. I remember when I was little and big deacons were so big, right?
Right.
They were, oh my God, look at them. And now, of course, they're just little boys. But this one that was confused as to where do I start and which road do I go and how do I do this? And I could see he was really struggling. And luckily on the other side of the row was one of his leaders. And so it wasn't even the boys leading the boys, because we don't have that many deacons. But it created in me this situation, this feeling of got to do it right, got to do it right. And I could tell that that's what he was feeling, right? I don't want to mess this up.
Right.
And I realized that I have this need up until now, I got to make sure I do it right. Got to make sure I do the feminine right. Got to make sure I relax right. Got to make sure I am right. Got to make sure I do all of that right. It's like, oh, that is so masculine. Yes, that's the death grip that Shelley was talking about. So I was able to, I love that I can just clear that.
Yes.
And let it go. Trust that however I do it is right. And there is no right or wrong. That's why I got started with painting the way I did, the kind of painting that I do with the acrylic pouring, because there's no right or wrong to it, right? That's why I love it so much. So allow that to be part of how I function in life. So that was a big deal for me then. Yeah. So then this morning, and I'm still at that place of just allow. I went out and sat on my porch swing for 15 minutes this morning, just allowed. And then I meditated after I prayed today and after I journaled. And it's been an awesome morning. It's been awesome. That's awesome. And, but I had, this is also back to Friday. I had a friend from, I've left it now, but a mentoring group with a company called Joyful Heart.
Okay.
Led by Ann Ferguson. And in my group of all these mentors, one of my friends reached out to me, and I contacted Ann a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know what, it just doesn't fit for me anymore. I'm stepping away. So I'm not going to be doing classes. I'm not going to be doing anything like that. I need to step away. And that was fine. And she was gracious and all that stuff. Well, this other mentor reaches out to me. Her name is Michelle. And she says, I understand you've left Joyful Heart, like it's leaving the church, right? And that's how it sounds. I understand you've left Joyful Heart. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have. Is that terrible? And she says, I'd like to talk because I'm feeling this desire to do the same thing. Okay, great. So let's talk. So what ended up happening after our conversation, I told her about connecting with Allison and the feminine, how important the feminine energy is. And I said, you need to listen to this podcast, which is the one that they did back in April. She did with Laurel, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I sent that to her, and she listened to it. She texted me this morning. She goes, oh my gosh, I need more information. Where can I go? What do I do? And it's like, well, she tells you what she can do at the end of the podcast, but okay, I'll help you get from where you need to go from here. So my question is she is so excited about this. And even her husband is very excited about the thoughts of her connecting more with her feminine, because he wants to get into his masculine, and that's not how they've been functioning. It sounds like she's got a great husband for this kind of stuff. Yeah, very, very supportive. So I told her about the book. I said, get the book, The Audacity to Be Queen. Keep listening to her podcast, because she's got tons of podcasts. But then I went into the website, prosperityapproach.com. There's nothing there other than a booklet. So where can I refer her to for further stuff? I've got her phone number, and I thought, well, you could call her. And it's like, no, let me just tell me where I can send her. And I told her a little bit about Rise Up. But she needs more than that at this point before she takes the step for a $12,000 program. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So on Alice, so the website will be AllisonChavez.com, and it will have everything on there.
Okay.
But the podcasts are definitely where you want her to go. What's her name? Because what we also want to make sure, like if she does through one of the things, like come in or get on the wait list, we want to make sure she's attached to you. So if she eventually comes in, that you get the referral credit. So what is her name?
Her name is Michelle Taylor.
And it's possible, I don't know, because it was a register and a pay workshop, but I'm like, it's possible that we might still be able to get the workshop to her. I would have to talk to, you froze, sorry. I'll have to talk to Allison about that and see if or if she just wants her to go on a wait list for the next workshop.
Okay. So. I thought about if there was any way to be able to get her the stuff for the workshop. That would be awesome. It was Allison. I tell everybody, there's nobody that gives more content for the price of what you get Allison for. There just isn't.
Right.
She's so amazing. And Michelle would be very open to that. So just let me know. I'll give her Allison's website, and then she can go from there, and to tell her to keep doing the podcast and to read the book. And for right now, that's a really good start for her. And then she can see where she wants to go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, I'll talk to Allison, and we can go forward from there. If she's like, yeah, we can have her do this, this, and this, and we'll just figure it out.
Okay. That would be fantastic. Okay. Then this morning, somebody else reached out to me that I knew. Do you know who Leslie Householder is? You've got to know who Leslie is.
Yes.
Okay. Leslie's company, Rare Faith, which is where I've known Leslie for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And been involved with her, and also became one of her facilitators a couple of years ago. Anyway, one of the girls that I knew there was in the workshop, and she saw my interview, and so she reached out to me. And in fact, she has reached out to Allison. Her name's Allie Porter.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're going to have this three-way call. And it's like, oh my gosh. Ellie loves to connect people. And I'm thinking, I need to be connected to people. There's a reason. I don't know what it is yet, but there's a reason why Ellie contacted me, which is so cool. But one thing she said in our conversation that I was having with her earlier is, I've told Allison this too. I feel odd in that I'm so much older than all the rest of you, really. I'm old enough to be at least your mother, if not your grandmother, but at least your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And most women that I know that are my age, they don't do stuff like this. They are not into stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me kind of an anomaly. But what it does is it puts me in the perfect position to set an example for these younger women that are coming up, because someday you're going to be 70 years old too, right?
Right.
And for the powerful impact that you can have in the process, I get to be one of the beginners to help set the example and to help teach, so that as you guys come up, you are prepared to take over what needs to happen in that space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And I wish there's Shirley Joffs, but she doesn't show up like in the group very often. She just shows up on calls. She's around your age. So we do have.
Is she?
Yeah, but and I know she's like near the end of her 6-month contract. So I don't know what she's doing, but she would have been fun. But like I said, she doesn't show up like you show up. You show up for yourself. So, and she just mostly showed up for the calls and
yeah.
things. So, yeah, but that's
the biggest thing that I felt like, because I have been making this whole idea of what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I'm here because this is the perfect time for me to be in this place doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
However that works for younger people. This is the perfect time, and it's all good. It's all good. And I really appreciated the reassurance I felt from the Spirit with that. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm feeling great. I really am feeling great. I feel like there's that part of me this morning as I was doing my journaling. It's like, okay, so what do you need to do? What do you need to do? And it's like, we're not going there yet. We're not there yet. We're still in the be still, listen, let go of this, and just listen, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to last very long, but it's going to last as long as it needs to.
Yes.
And I don't need to know. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was saying, ooh, and it was kind of reinforced with me today as Allison talks about the libs and the importance of clearing out those past programs, the beliefs of those past programs,
right,
in order to change your life, right? So you have to be a different person, run new programs, and live in different emotions, which I love that so much. And I think I really want to do that with people. I want to help people recognize those programs that are holding them back, and that they simply are programs. And we can change the program as easily as we can change the channel on the TV.
Right.
You just need to do it, right? Or as Allison says, you need to change the DVD. However it is, it can be done. It can be done. And I want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly how that looks, I'm not certain yet, and that's okay.
Yep, it'll come.
It's okay to just be in this place right now.
Yeah.
So anyway,
awesome.
I need you to pay attention. I want you to look at the picture that I'm pointing to right now.
Okay. Yes.
That one, right? Okay. That is a picture called The Listener. And I don't know if you can see it clearly because it's maybe bigger for you than what I see. But you've got this guy, that guy right there, sitting in the middle of chaos, absolute chaos. And the picture is that's painted, the original picture is painted by James Christensen. That's actually a puzzle that I put together.
Oh, okay.
And then framed. So he's sitting in the center, and his heart, the placement of his heart is actually in the exact center of the puzzle. And he is just sitting there and listening and being still and shutting out all the noise and chaos from the rest of the world.
Right.
That's my goal. That picture right there.
I love that.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yep. That's awesome.
So lots of deep breaths. Going into office hours this afternoon and getting into my room to tidy it up enough so that I can do some painting.
Oh, good.
And then reading the book. That's my goal.
Awesome.
That's where I am right now.
Good. Awesome.
That's everything I need to share.
Okay, perfect. On your intake form, you said you were bumping up against the need to be productive. I know we mentioned that a little bit in what you said. How are you doing with that today? The need to do.
Yeah, the need to do. It pops up, right? And then I just, okay, where's that coming from? And it's usually coming from up here, from my head. You know, and I just remind myself, okay, is that in alignment? No, there's some things I got to do. I got to go grocery shopping, right?
Right.
And so I do those things, but when I feel like I'm really paying close attention to, okay, what do I hope to accomplish by doing the painting? If it's just to say that I went in there and painted, then that's not what I want to do. I want it to be an experience where I get to just really get in there and create and have it just be, a time where I get to work with my hands and just love the experience of playing with the colors and seeing how they work on the canvas and just enjoy the experience. That's what I want the painting to be.
Good. I love that. I love that you have a clear idea. Like, you know what you want to connect to.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm doing really pretty good with that.
Good.
It's interesting. My husband's home today from work. He stayed home so he could go play golf this morning with my kids, which I'm thrilled that he did that. But when he's home, I oftentimes feel like I've got to be with him. I've got to be with him. And I don't know why. And he's perfectly content to sit on the couch and watch TV. For the rest of the day, he will do that. And that is not where I want to be. That is so not where I want to be. So breaking free of that belief that I've got to be with him just because he's home. I don't. He doesn't check in with me when he's home and he wants to do something on his own. So I don't need to do that for me. I need to just really let that go. And it's not a bad thing, and it's not a negative thing. It's just a matter of letting that whole idea go and trust that I am paying attention to Cosette today. It is Cosette's day. Yeah. And that's what I get to do. Yep. Yeah. And really be okay with it. It's not selfish. It's not, it's exactly where I need to be able to move forward with where I need to go. But until I know where that is, to move with certainty so that I can have that feeling of commitment, and I do anything to get there. I'm not in that place yet. The only thing I'm in that place for is to discover me. Okay. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The importance of me discovering me, I am all over that. And I understand that that means just being still for a while. Yes. Rather than, maybe I should do this and maybe I should do that, because that's always where I've gone in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that has not served me.
Mm-hmm.
So
with being still, you are going to receive downloads.
Oh, I
Okay.
get the downloads. I totally get that.
Okay.
And I'm all over downloads.
Good.
Yeah. In fact, it's interesting. I have to share this with you. Oh gosh, I guess it was when we lived in this house, and we've been here about 5 years. So it was about 4 years ago. I have this group of women that I get together with twice a month. It's called Trust Your Heart. And we, on this particular day, we were talking about all these other women that are in the group. There's only 5 of us at the time.
Okay.
Talking about how they had their books that they need. Oh yeah, I really need to get to my book. I need to finish this chapter I'm on, or I need to get the editing done, or whatever it was, wherever it was that they were in their book. They were all talking about it, and they like, well, I don't have a book. Maybe I should have a book, but I don't have a book. Yeah, and feeling left out, like I really should, but I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start, and I don't want to. It needs to be fiction, and I don't know. I enjoy mysteries, but I'm not clever enough to come up with a real good mystery, and I don't know, but they're all making commitments. By the time we get together next time, I promise that I will do, and I promise I will do, and I promise. So I decided, okay, I will come up with a character. I will come up with a main character. I will commit, so I can be a part of this thing. Mm-hmm. I will commit to coming up. I can do that. It'll only take, in 2 weeks.
Right.
I can come up with a character, and I just let it be. I committed to doing that. I'll get to it. The next morning, I wake up and literally, whoosh, this huge download of not only the main character, I knew the plot, I knew everything. I knew the whole story to this book. And it was like, holy cow. So by the time we got together in 2 weeks, I had several chapters written.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome. It was so awesome. It was like, Heavenly Father, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have a book on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's self-published, but that's okay. And the people that have read it have absolutely loved it, have just loved it. And it's a first book. I mean, right. It's not going to be a Tom Clancy or something. That's okay. I never intended for it to be a Tom Clancy or anybody like that. Right. I just wanted it to be a fun story that I got to, and I got to do it. And it turned out really, really good. I was really pleased.
Oh, fun.
And it gave me the confidence to write my own story, which I did write. Which is totally different than writing a cozy mystery. Totally. I did not publish that. I got it written a lot in part because I wanted my kids to understand kind of what life was like during those years that I tried to keep so much away from them. When my husband was, and I don't remember when I told this story. Do you know my husband had seizures for 30 years?
You did tell me he had seizures, yes.
Okay, yeah. And life back then was, life was life. It was hard. And getting through that, experience that, but a lot of the time, my kids had no idea what was going on. And now they're adults, and I wanted them to understand and appreciate. The other purpose for the book was to share my experience and show people how you can go through that and then completely change and grow and have it be awesome. Mm-hmm. But I never felt the real big push to get out there and publish it like I did with my other one. And so it sits there. And now I understand that it doesn't have everything in it that it needed to have in it. And so maybe I'll get back to writing it. But for right now, that's not there. But to go back to what you had said, I totally get downloads. Okay. I totally get them. That's and awesome. I am open to that. Yeah.
Right.
And my whole point in keeping this conduit open with Heavenly Father is so that I am aware of the downloads. And so I know exactly where I need to go with that. So we're good.
Great. Okay. So for this next month, I know I'm going to be checking in with you on your self-care. What else do you feel you need from me so that, I mean, and obviously if you don't have everything now, you can always message me later too. But what do you want to be? We're still keeping your goal, right?
Yeah, the goal stays the same. And doing my libs in more feminine energy rather than let's just get this done.
Okay.
I want to, I've been uncomfortable with this, but I really want to do it, is just turn on some music and move.
Yes.
You may call it dance, you can call it whatever you want, but I've got some really good music and the thoughts of moving to it sound really good. But with my husband home, I'm very self-conscious, and so I won't do it with him home. Tomorrow.
I challenge you to do it with him home. I do. In fact, he might
I don't know.
really like it if you do it in front of him.
We'll talk about my husband another day. We're not going to talk about him here.
Okay.
It's not, no, it doesn't feel, it's something I get to do on my own.
Okay.
I don't need to do it now.
Okay.
So, but that's one of my goals, is to just move in a feminine way.
Mm-hmm.
This next month. Okay.
Yes.
And I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay.
Self-care, my goal stays the same. Really getting into, and we talked about this before, really feeling, really feeling the libs, feeling the emotion behind it. I know the first time I go through it is supposed to be, I am that I am. The second time is, what if this was true? What's the third time?
You're just actively listening the third time.
Okay. And I feel like I do that. I actively listen all the time.
Oh, good.
I run my libs more than 3 times a day. And oftentimes during those times, it is just the noise in the background.
Right.
But that's not hurting anything,
no,
right?
It's not.
No, I mean, I can sit and listen to it and have it just be noise, but my brain's taking it in no matter what. And so I know that it's good, but I make sure that I get at least the 3 times in with the active listening to that.
Okay. Do you have visions and pictures of your libs? Like when you say your health lib, do you have a vision of what that looks like to you?
No.
Okay. I would encourage you with each of your libs to have like, okay, so like with your goal, like to weigh 220 pounds, what is that going to look like? Okay, well, that's going to look like I have more energy. It's going to look like I feel more confident. It's going to look like my blood pressure is low. It's going to look like I can get, I don't know if your grandkids are young anymore. Or do you have young grandkids?
Really?
I was going to say, you get on the floor with your grandkids.
The youngest ones live in Nevada, so I don't see them as often.
Okay.
And my older ones, the ones that are around, they're so busy in their own lives that I don't get to see them as much as I used to. And when they're around, honestly, when they're around, they like to sit and visit. And so it doesn't require me to be getting on the floor with them and playing.
Right.
Yeah. However, there are times when we still get on the floor, and I get down there. I can get down fine. Getting up,
you're like that.
It's a little bit more of a trick, but I can still do it.
Awesome.
So how does it look? Okay, how does it look?
Yeah. So that you have like so as you're actively listening, you have a picture in your head of what it looks like, and that will help you connect to the feeling.
Okay. So how do I get, so with the main goal of losing 50 pounds, releasing the 50 pounds, that makes sense. Making the money, that one, I know how to feel that one too, of how it feels to just have that consistent $2,000 a month, additional $2,000 a month coming in on a regular basis. I know how that feels.
Oh, good.
That's easy to feel. Connecting to Gordon, having a loving connection to Gordon, that's a little bit trickier. And then co-creating with God, that I can do that one easily. Okay, I co-create with God. Oh, I am the rich child of a loving Heavenly Father who wants me to prosper. Those things are easier to feel for me too. So the one I probably struggle the most with is that loving connection to my husband.
Okay. So dig into that.
I will.
What do you want that to look like? Does it look like, I mean,
you know what? So much, I will be honest with you. So much of how I want that to look, I don't feel like it is absolutely not possible. And whether that's a belief or part of that is based on actual fact. Just because of testing that they've done with him, he doesn't connect emotionally to stuff. Right. He just doesn't.
Right. I said the seizures probably affected that.
Yeah. Seizures and then the medication that he's on. Mm-hmm. It is the way it is. And I have come to, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
There are some days when it's like, ooh, damn it, I wish it was different. But for the most part, it's like, you know what? It is what it is, and he's a good man, and I'm so grateful that we're together.
Right. Good.
And I really work to stay in that place, because I feel like that's a 180 from where I was 10 years ago.
Right.
So that's huge, right? That is really huge for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll think about what that looks like.
Okay.
Accepting that there are limitations there. It's in some ways it's like, oh, I really wish my husband could walk when I know he's paralyzed from the waist down. Mm-hmm. That's why, you don't want to dwell on that, because it is what it is.
Right.
But I also know that God can work miracles. So
yes, absolutely. Yes.
And the more I'm in feminine,
mm-hmm.
Who knows what will happen with him. But that simply requires me to work more on me. Yes. And just let that one go. Just let that be. Right?
Yep. You're just in charge of you.
Yeah.
Yep. And everything else will follow. It'll just kind of swoop you off your feet.
It will come as it needs to.
Yeah.
It will come as it needs to. So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I really am.
Perfect. Okay.
Getting through this in a half an hour is hard, Shelley.
I know. I know. That's why I'm always like, I can't do back-to-backs. I always have to have like a 5-minute buffer.
Yeah. Anyway, I so appreciate you. And I've got this written down, and this is where my focus will be for the next month, and we'll go from there.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And I will send you an email with this video and kind of a jot down of what we talked about today too.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you later.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.